In a small town called Ravenswood, there lived a boy named Daniel who lived a life filled with loneliness. The young boy, Daniel, walked through the school hallways, his eyes cast down at the floor. He was a loner, avoided by his classmates not out of spite, but an inexplicable unease. As if they sensed something off about him, something that made them uncomfortable. At home, his parents were caught up in their own struggles, barely noticing his presence. They were always arguing, their voices hushed but the tension palpable. Daniel felt like a ghost, invisible and insignificant, but there was one being who saw him, who sensed his loneliness and reached out to him. A mysterious entity, dark and sinister, that whispered to him in the dead of night. At first, Daniel thought it was just his imagination. But soon he realized that the voice was real. It spoke to him in a language he couldn't understand, but he felt its words deep in his bones. The entity, who Daniel came to call the Whisper, began to exert its influence over him. It would make him do small things, like move objects or cause a disturbance. But as time went on, its requests became more sinister. It made Daniel use his gift to harm others, to bend their blood to his will. At first, it was just a classmate who had wronged him, but soon it was anyone who crossed his path. Daniel was trapped, unable to resist the Whisper's power. He was a puppet, and the Whisper was the master. As the years passed, Daniel's loneliness turned to despair. He was a slave to the Whisper, forced to do its bidding. And the Whisper's requests became more and more depraved. Daniel's classmates began to notice the change in him, the way he would stare off into space, his eyes black as coal. They sensed the darkness in him, the evil that lurked beneath the surface, and they avoided him even more, sensing that he was no longer just a loner, but a monster. Daniel was consumed by the Whisper, his mind filled with its dark thoughts. He was no longer a boy, but a vessel for the malevolent entity. And when the Whisper finally left him, Daniel was left with the weight of his actions. He was alone, truly alone. For the first time in his life, he realized that the Whisper had been his only friend, his only companion in the dark world he lived in. And without it, he was nothing. The loneliness that had once been a heavy burden was now a crushing weight, a constant reminder of what he had done. Daniel was lost, trapped in a world of horrors, with no escape from the darkness that lurked within him. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. What have you learned from this story? Comment below.